Let's talk about buying used. And to do that, I'm going to bring in a Monroe 7130. Buying used, things to look for. The prices are fantastic. I've gotten these, most of these I bought used. The Casio is the only one that I bought new. I spent anywhere from free to maybe 30 bucks for the used ones. The most that I've seen for a used calculator is $60 for a Monroe UltimateX on eBay with free shipping and a 60-day warranty. They get much cheaper if you include shipping and have a warranty. If you buy used, some things you can expect to have to do. You'll probably have to change the ink cartridge or ribbon. They're typically dried out because people are selling these after sitting in a closet for a long time. However, first try printing out several feet of paper, because what you might find is that once things get moving, or once the print ribbon unwinds a little bit, maybe it's inked up underneath a little bit and just the exposed part was dried out. Expect to get a new battery. All of these, except that Monroe, all of these have battery backup for things like tax rates and whatnot. Those are typically a coin cell battery on the back there. But take a look at that first, because there's usually a plastic tab, which is fairly common with devices that use coin cells, a plastic tab to keep it from draining while it's sitting on the store shelf. I've had several of these where the tab hadn't even been removed, so just pull the tab out and the thing worked perfectly. All right, let's open up the Monroe. Take that case off. Here you can see the case is fairly similar to the UltimateX, and here you can see where that paper is in the back there. The Monroes, by the way, also come with this wonderful little spot here where you can put a spare roll of paper, and you can jam a spare print ribbon in the back there too, so you're never going to run out. Okay, when you buy one, look at the printer, look carefully at the inside to see if it's crudded up with old ink, with paper debris, that sort of thing. Stuff like that will possibly mean that it needs to be cleaned. Cleaning might not be that hard, especially for the line printers. You take it out, you spray it with a whole bunch of isopropyl alcohol, and that tends to work fairly well. Does it print? Does it actually print? Print out a large number. Let's do a bunch of 8s here, and we will just add that a few times. And if you look at that printout, so let me show what I'm adding. I'm just adding 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. And the printout doesn't have all the numbers. The 8 is missing there. The 8 is missing there. I believe what's happening is there are little détentes, little like fingers that hold the print rollers in the right place before it prints. I think those are gunked up and are not moving. Another thing to check is just, does the paper advance okay? If you press the advance button, does that work okay? Check the case. Is it dirty? Is it all dirty and grimy? This one, even though I've cleaned it, sort of, it could use more. The keys were a real mess when I got this. Look at the keyboard. Does it show signs of spillage? Look in between the keys for little like brown globs of crud and drips and drops. Most of these used ones had spill damage, and I had to remove the case, clean the keyboard, put it back together again. That's not hard to do. If you have any inclination with electronics, or even if not, it's a fun project to try. Yeah, what happens if you blow one of these things? It's not that bad. But like I said, spillage is common. Another thing to look for is the little switches. Let's look on this one. There's the switch, and there's a little plastic cap on the switch there, which makes it easier to move the switch. And on the Monroe, on this one, the little caps are not there. Now, they're not here because I removed them. I put them on a Monroe that's in slightly better shape. but the other one that I got that's in better shape didn't have the keycaps. When those are missing, it gets real difficult to push these back and forth. That can be anywhere from annoying to not a problem at all, depending on how much you plan to push those things back and forth. For many people, I suspect they set the switches and then never have to deal with it again. Another thing to look at is the display. Enter all 8s to the extent that the calculator can handle. This takes 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and as I hope you'll be able to see on the video, it's brighter on this side than it is on that side. That can be slightly annoying, but it's something to think about. Is that a problem? Another thing to look for is whether all the segments work. So, right, with the 8s, they were dim, but everything was there. For this, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we get that comma there. And on this one, it is the comma and the dot. Well, the comma is formed by the decimal point and a little descender there. Okay, then let's do point. And I'm just going to start hitting zeros, and let's watch that dot go across the display. Oh, look, the comma isn't showing here. It's just the dot. Let's go, I'll hit a 0, we'll go over one more. Now it's back. Now it's back. Now it's missing completely. Now it's back. Now it's back. Missing completely. Back. And that's the end of it. Okay, so there are small segments on the display that are not working. Again, because it's the dot and the comma, not too big a deal. The comma, not a big deal. The dot is a bit more problematic. One more issue is that tear bar. If you tear this off, does the paper come off cleanly? That came off pretty well. I'm just going to advance that again. That tore off reasonably well. On a couple of my Monroes, those tear bars had worn down to the nubs so that they really made a mess when you tried tearing it off. It's quite a testimony to Monroe's durability. Think about how many times somebody had to tear the paper off to actually wear that paper blade and that serrated edge down enough to cause it to not be able to tear the paper off. For the Monroes, fortunately, they make the top cover piece. This piece here, they sell those for their heavy-duty calculators. Give them a call, tell them which model number you have, what color you would like. It's pretty cheap. I can't remember the exact price, but I don't think it was more than $20. It might very well have been $10. These things are available all over. You can get them on eBay. You have to pay for shipping, and often shipping is as much as the calculator itself. Getting them on Facebook Marketplace might be cheaper if you can find one that's local. I paid less than $20 for every one of the ones that I've gotten used, so the prices are extremely reasonable. You can also find them in thrift shops, sometimes for $5. You got to look a little harder to find one in a thrift shop, but I've gotten them. A caveat, of course, there is a reason why somebody is selling it. Often I suspect it's that coffee spill. You can usually tell if you've had a spill. Just press the keys and see if they're kind of sticky, if they're hard to push down. That indicates that there was a spill. You might be able to negotiate a cheaper price because of that. And like I said before, they're not very hard to disassemble if you're comfortable with electronics and clean them out. I might make a video on doing that. If you're interested, drop me a comment or something.